Good morning. Good morning. Cloudy morning this morning in beautiful downtown Huntsville, Alabama. So, got a little different kind of reflection on my glasses this morning. I apologize for that because of the weird sunlight outside. Okay, let's get started today. I want to talk about your anchor. There's something really important about knowing where you're anchored. And I want to spend a little bit of time talking about that anchor today, because sometimes you'll run up against something, you've got to make decisions. Sometimes you'll run up against something and you'll go, I've got to figure this out. And I need to have some criteria by which I do that by. And so today I want to talk about that anchor. I call that your anchor. That's the thing that you hang on to. That's the thing that fixes you in a place, so that you've got some criteria by which you can make that decision. And that's your anchor. Now, I don't care what you call that. This morning I'm going to call it an anchor. Sometimes I call it a vision statement. Sometimes I call it a mission statement. Sometimes I call it your definite chief aim. But all of those things have a single purpose, and that is to be the anchor that you hang on to when you need to make a decision. So let's do some good mornings today. We've got Doug and Deborah and Betty and Merv and Joanna, just a good group of people coming in today as we get ready to talk about that anchor. That's the thing that holds you. That's the thing that you hang on to when you have to make an important decision. I've had to make some important decisions already this week, and you got to go back and take a look at that anchor and say, is that what I'm here to do? And so you might call that your personal mission statement. You might call that your personal vision statement. You might call it your business statement. Whatever it is, those are the things that you use to make decisions. They become your decision-making criteria. And it's the thing that helps you to go back to and go, this is why I'm here. This is my purpose for being. I have a purpose for being. And that purpose is defined right here. It's easy for me to understand what that purpose is. And when I look at that purpose, then every decision I have to make, I have to figure out, is that in line with that purpose? Because it's easy for us to say yes to everything. Sometimes it's easy for us to say no to things, but we have to have a reason for saying yes or no. And then sometimes we have to measure that decision to say yes or to say no. We have to measure that along the way as to how does that fit in with that purpose. Now, I'm not going to cover my purpose today. That's not my intention. I don't want to talk about my purpose. I want to talk about your purpose. I want to talk about, what are you here for? What is your reason for being? And I believe that there are 4 things that go into making a really, really good purpose statement. And I've given you a link right here. If you will go to that link, give me your email address, I will email to you immediately those criteria, those 4 criteria that help you to develop that mission statement. Because without a mission statement, what you do is you chase after stuff. That's what you do. You open up your email and you go, oh, here's a business opportunity. Or you run into somebody at a networking event and they've got something that might be beneficial to you, and you don't have any criteria to measure that by. And that criteria to measure it by becomes essential in order to make good decisions, because you got stuff pulling at you from every direction all of the time. There's this thing, or there's that thing, or there's this work from home business, or there's this thing that you can do over here. You have to have a purpose for your being. And once you understand what that purpose is, then you have something that you can measure those things against. And you can see that and go, okay, there's a reason that I'm here. And I want to fulfill that reason why I'm here. My reason for being here isn't just to be retired. It's not. My reason for being is to make an impact, to make a difference in the world where I live. And how am I going to go about making that difference? Well, for me, that is my, whatever you choose to call it. It's your mission statement, it's your vision statement, it's your chief definite aim, it's your purpose for being, whatever that is. The most popular book for a long, long time was the book the purpose-driven life, because it gave people a reason for being. It said you have to have a reason for being. And that reason will help you to define who you are. It will give you it's a discovery process. So there's 3 pages to this. If you want to go and take a look at it, it's right there in the link above. Just click on that link, fill out just drop your email address in there, and you will immediately get access to that purpose statement. 3 pages, and those 3 pages will help you to discover what your purpose is. You need to know what your purpose is. You need to know who you are and what you're here to do and the mission that you're supposed to be on. And then you can measure everything else. Don't chase somebody else's dream. You know, I see people all the time, well, follow me and I'll show you how to do this. And you can be just like me. And we see these advertisements on YouTube and everywhere else, guys washing his Lamborghini, or he's going into this mansion. And he says, if you do this, you can be just like me. Would you like to have this? Well, maybe not. Let's just focus on who you are. Who you are. Because if you focus on who you are and you follow that dream and that purpose, then everything else becomes really easy. You may have to work at it, but it becomes easier. Then you have a criteria that you can measure things by. Then you have a definitive statement of what you're going to accomplish. Okay? How many of you, tell me below, how many of you currently have and operate by a mission statement that you can say, I pulled this out, I use this when I make decisions, I use this. I have, obviously, because I'm a big fan of it. If you on the 3 pages that I give you, let me look at this. I'll read this off to you, because this is pretty cool. I obviously have a bunch of questions, because I always think that questions are important. I have 10 questions that if you answer those, it will help you to develop and discover what your purpose is. And then you know where you fit into the grand scheme of things. You need to have a specific purpose. Vicky says she does. The rest of you are being quiet, so I'm going to take that as a, no, I don't have one of those. Very important that you have that. And I don't care what stage of life that you're at, if you're just starting or if you're just ending. It doesn't matter where you are. You need to say, I did this because this. I was involved in this because of this. I made this decision because of this. And so Deborah and Joanna are saying, yes, I do. And so that's good, because you need to have a specific purpose for being. You need to be able to fulfill that specific purpose. You need to have that anchor that you can go back to when you have to make a decision. Do I do this? Do I give my time to this? Most valuable thing that I have is my time. That's the most important resource that I have. It's more valuable than anything else. And so if I'm going to give my time to it, is it in alignment with my purpose? Does it do the thing for which I'm here to do? Because there's lots of things to do. There's no shortage of opportunity. The great thing is that we live in a world of abundance, and there's lots of opportunity in front of us because of this amazing world that we live in. And because of that, we have to make some decisions. Now, one time I was having a conversation with Tom, and Tom said, you know what your problem is? Your problem is you're a polymath. And a polymath is somebody who is able to do multiple things. They have multiple interests. Well, you've got to have an anchor. You have to have an anchor, because if you don't have an anchor, you're going to be in trouble. You'll get pulled in this direction, or pulled in that direction. You get pulled over here, and you'll get detracted from what you were made to do. So today I just wanted to remind you, yesterday we talked about what goes in, how important it is to feed yourself the right stuff. But today I want you to listen to your heart and figure out what your purpose is, and make sure that you're in alignment with that purpose, that you're doing the things that will help you to develop that purpose for which you're here. If you're uncertain about that, or if you want something to measure it by, then check that out right there. Yes, that's one of the reasons why I used that phrase, Brooke, is because of that song. But yeah, if you need to check it out, it's right there. You want something to measure your purpose by, that's a good place to look. That's a great resource to have. I think that there are 4 key elements in that vision statement, that purpose statement, and they give you what those 4 key elements are. Give you the 10 questions, and then they give you a sample of what they're supposed to look like. Okay? So if you're interested, grab that right there. If not, just be inspired by what we talked about, okay? If you think this is helpful, share it with one of your friends. We want to expand the footprint of this audience. We want to make sure that other people get a chance to get the help that I give to you every single day. Okay? Thank you for joining me today. Look forward to talking to you tomorrow from the coffee shop. Take care. Have a great day.